Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really zeroing in on the 2024 report from Emprende Pro Mujer.
Mm-hmm.
It's this digital education platform doing some amazing work with women entrepreneurs in Latin America.
Yeah, it really is. And our mission today for you listening was to kind of unpack this report.
Right.
We want to pull out the key insights, how they operate, their impact, what they're planning next. It's really valuable stuff for anyone interested in empowerment strategies.
Definitely. We've got the source doc here, the epmdossier.pdf. It outlines their 2024 results, learnings, and their goals for 2025.
And the scale is just wow.
Isn't it? Over 79,500 women reached in 2024 across something like 40 countries.
Incredible reach. Okay, so where should we start? Maybe with the why.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's dig into the core beliefs driving Emprende Pro Mujer. What's their fundamental reason for being?
Well, what jumps out right away is their foundational belief. They see women entrepreneurs as like the absolute heart of economies.
Okay.
Not just small players, but drivers of growth, strengthening the whole social fabric.
Right. And they have a specific focus too, don't they, on women who are often starting businesses more out of necessity.
Exactly. Emprenden por necesidad. That's a key phrase for them, supporting women who need to create income, helping them transform that necessity into, well, prosperity for themselves and their communities.
And they were set up when?
2021.
Yeah, 2021,
Yeah.
as a digital platform specifically for Latin American women. And the main goal is pretty clear. Develop personal and business skills to generate, holistic prosperity, personal, business, economic, financial.
Okay, so that's the motivation. Now, the how. What makes their approach unique?
I think one of the most interesting things is this mujeres para mujeres, women for women philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
They create these spaces that are really focused on thinking, feeling, and wanting. It's about fostering autonomy, not just teaching business skills.
So it goes deeper than just like a standard training course.
Much deeper.
Yeah.
And the facilitators play a huge role in that.
Wow, so what do they do differently? They're positioned more as guides, really, helping with self-knowledge, providing continuous support along the way, and even helping measure the impact. It's very hands-on, very supportive.
The report also uses the phrase acompañamiento en toda la ruta emprendedora, support throughout the whole journey.
Yeah, and that means exactly what it sounds like. They offer services for, well, basically every stage.
From idea to.
From the initial spark to business development, scaling up, even accessing finance, which can be a huge hurdle. They stick with them.
And they use a human-centered design approach.
Mm-hmm.
What does that look like in practice?
Basically, it means they listen. Like, really listen to the women they serve, understanding their needs, their challenges, their daily lives.
Okay.
And then they tailor everything, the platform, the courses, the support, based on that direct feedback. It's not top-down.
There's a story about Bianca from Mexico in the report that illustrates this.
Yeah, perfect example.
Yeah.
Bianca wanted to start a business, but like so many women, was juggling family responsibilities, daughters at home.
The classic challenge.
Totally. And the Todas Digitales program, their digital skills, one was a game changer for her. She learned how to, showcase products online, take good photos.
Mm-hmm.
And crucially, she could access the training flexibly, fitting it around her life. It adapted to her, not the other way around.
That really shows the user focus.
Mm.
Okay, let's shift to their digital ecosystem and this idea of integral development. The program seems built on some specific characteristics.
Yeah, they've clearly put a lot of thought into it. Things like making it accessible, obviously, but also gender-sensitive, effective, up-to-date, even entertaining.
Entertaining.
Yeah, keeping engagement up. And crucially, focusing on self-care and making sure the content is relevant locally and regionally.
And they talk about the economía del cuidado, the care economy and intersectionality. Why is that so important here?
Well, it's about recognizing that women aren't just entrepreneurs, right? Their lives are complex. Factors like their education level, family situation, where they live, experiences with violence, migration status, ethnicity, all these things intersect and affect their entrepreneurial journey. Emprende Pro Mujer tries to account for that complexity. It's not a one-size-fits-all model.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So how do they actually deliver this content, given potential issues with internet access?
They're pretty clever about it. They often start engagement using WhatsApp, super high penetration there.
Right.
Then they guide users to their main platform. But they also have a hybrid option for areas with poor connectivity, mixing digital with some in-person stuff.
That blend seems vital for inclusivity. And the content itself, how do they make sure it lands?
They focus on clear language suitable for different backgrounds. The
Yeah.
information needs to be immediately usable, practical,
Okay.
plus easy downloads for shaky internet connections. And the platform design is kept intuitive, avoiding information overload.
And the learning methods sound quite modern, too.
Definitely. They use microlearning short, digestible bits. Storytelling, which we know is powerful. Gamification, game-based learning.
Hmm.
And mobile learning, obviously, since phones are the main access point for many.
There's a quote from Franco Videla, the product owner, about tech considerations. What was his point?
He really stressed their focus on low data consumption. They know they're serving vulnerable populations, often with limited expensive data plans, maybe one phone per family.
Right.
So any tech they use has to be super mindful of not eating up data. It's a core design principle.
That shows a real understanding of their users' reality. Okay, let's talk impact. How did this digital model perform in 2024? The growth looked impressive.
It really did. The numbers show clear increases in enrollments, inscriptas, active participants, cursantes, and, importantly, graduates, graduadas, real expansion.
And the chatbots seem to make a big difference to graduation rates.
Yeah, this was fascinating. Programs using chatbots basically doubled the conversion rate from enrolled to graduated up to 14%.
Wow.
And the rate from active participants to graduated was even higher, 22%. Way better than programs without chatbots. That immediate, maybe more personal interaction seems key.
Keeps people engaged.
Exactly. It likely feels less like you're learning in isolation.
There's also input from Brenda R. Alvarez on creating content. What drives their content strategy?
She highlighted understanding the user's whole life cycle, their family situations, daily routines, even potential fears or anxieties about starting or growing a business.
Okay.
That deep understanding lets them create content that really connects and offers the right support.
And the feedback from participants seems overwhelmingly positive.
Hugely positive. Satisfaction rates are really high, over 80% for content, 95% would recommend the program, and an amazing 99% satisfaction with the facilitators.
99%. That's incredible.
It really speaks volumes.
We also hear from Rosalba in Peru. What did she value most?
For Rosalba, it was the accessibility, being able to learn whenever it fit her schedule as a busy mother and homemaker.
Flexibility again.
Yes. And she specifically mentioned gaining practical knowledge in finance and marketing core skills she needed.
Okay, so we've established they're reaching many women who are emprendiendo por la necesidad. Let's explore that group a bit more.
Right. These are often women pushed into entrepreneurship by economic circumstances, maybe limited job options. It's a crucial income source.
What are some common characteristics?
Often self-employed, businesses operating very locally, maybe in the informal sector, relying on close networks for sales, working in traditional sectors, maybe without formal business plans initially.
And their journey is shaped by different factors than, say, an opportunity-driven entrepreneur.
Definitely. Things like gender roles, maybe less formal education, digital access gaps, and significant caregiving duties all play a big part. Emprende Pro Mujer really gets that.
The stats on how much they rely on this income are quite stark.
Yeah, nearly 85% said the business income helps cover household expenses. And for over 10%, it's their only source of income. It's vital.
And they've identified different profiles within this group. Initial, Futura.
That's right. Initial, Futura, Artesana, Empresaria, Revendedora. It helps them understand the different starting points, digital skills, and needs so they can tailor the support better.
Makes sense. And Carla's story from Argentina seems to capture this journey well.
Yes, Carla made hair accessories. She talked about lacking confidence, undervaluing her work initially. But the training, especially on pricing and costs, gave her the confidence to sell at fairs, find her own customers beyond just friends and family. It's about empowerment through skills.
A great example. It's not just about the business skills, though, is it? Talk about the holistic development aspect.
Right, the data shows clear progress in practical skills like 42% improved financial skills, 66% better at budgeting, 95% improved saving habits. Big jumps.
But it's broader than that.
Much broader. They see the women as whole people. This pensar, sentir, queer, think, feel, want framework is embedded everywhere. It integrates reflection, emotions, goals.
Strengthening the business, strengthening for life, the report says. How do they do the strengthening for life part?
Through specific training on soft skills. Things like work-life balance, time management, emotional regulation, finding purpose, beating procrastination.
Crucial skills.
Absolutely. They ran over 30 sessions just on soft skills, well-being, and self-care in 2024.
And does it work? Do women feel the difference?
The numbers suggest yes. 87% felt their leadership skills improved. 91% reported increased soft skills overall.
Wow.
And Brenda Alvarez mentioned something important, women starting to see themselves as entrepreneurs. That self-identification is huge.
That shift in mindset must be incredibly powerful.
Sure.
Okay, let's talk reach and access. They're across Latin America, but are they expanding?
Definitely. Participants from over 40 countries, with Colombia, Argentina, Mexico leading in grads. And interestingly, a big jump in urban reach up to 80% in 2024.
And they're looking towards the U.S. now, too.
Yes, specifically targeting Latin American migrants in the U.S. with their digital training. It's about leveraging the model to support that community.
How's the uptake been with migrants?
Pretty strong. They make up 7% of enrollments, and their participation in graduation rates are right up there with non-migrants. It shows the program works for them, too.
And Ginny's story from the U.S.
Yeah, Ginny, a Venezuelan entrepreneur in Miami, she spoke about finding community, feeling supported, abrazadas por una comunidad, embraced by a community. That connection is vital, especially when you're far from home.
Absolutely. Now, they don't do this alone. Strategic alliances are important.
Hugely important. These partners bring funding, yes, but also expertise, knowledge, skills, and help expand their reach. Collaboration is key.
Who are some key partners?
Big names like TikTok, Microsoft Philanthropies, Colombia's vice presidency via the Fondo Mujer Libre y Productiva. And the report has quotes highlighting this TikTok, talking about entrepreneurs using their platform, Microsoft on the need for digital and leadership skills, the Colombian VP on economic autonomy.
And these partnerships offer more than just money.
For sure. Natalia from Argentina, founder of Encontrarte, talked about how these connections led to training, networking, actual new business opportunities. It creates an ecosystem.
A supportive ecosystem. Right. Let's quickly recap the key numbers for 2024.
All right. Over 79,500 enrolled, 51,000 active participants, over 11,200 graduates, a solid 22% conversion rate from active participant to graduate.
And the migrant participation.
7% of enrollees, over 5,700 women with 620 graduating, showing strong engagement there.
And the Todas Digitales program.
Really high conversion rates there, 61% enrolled to graduated, 79% active to graduated, shows the power of that accessible digital literacy training.
Urban reach up to 80%.
Yep. And big improvements reported in financial skills, cost identification, budgeting, saving habits.
Plus leadership and future outlook.
Right. 87% felt leadership improved, 71% expect sales growth, and 25% gain knowledge and innovation and growth moving beyond basics.
That's a really strong snapshot.
Yeah.
Now, what about the key learnings from 2024? What did Emprende Pro Mujer take away?
This is really interesting. They learned, for instance, that WhatsApp just blows email out of the water for engagement with their audience.
Not surprising.
No, but important to confirm. And the chatbots we talked about, they found integrating them via WhatsApp was 2 or 3 times more effective than just using the platform alone. Accessibility is king.
And adapting the learning style.
Yes, moving to a more asynchronous model to fit around the care economy demands significantly boosted completion rates. Flexibility is crucial.
They also learned about the importance of self-esteem first.
Exactly. Building that yo puedo, I can believe, is essential before the technical skills can really land and be used effectively. Mindset matters.
And storytelling works.
Hugely. Using stories and relatable characters made learning stick much better, made it more human, less abstract.
What about audio?
Very valuable. Allows learning while multitasking, working, chores, commuting, fits into busy lives.
And finally, those sorority spaces.
Yeah, women-led peer support sessions fostered much greater participation and openness. Creating safe spaces for connection and shared learning is vital. Peer support is powerful.
Invaluable lessons. Okay, so looking forward to 2025, what are the main goals?
Well, the big picture is continue expanding reach and impact with the digital model, plus enhancing the platform itself, usability, scalability.
And they're bringing in AI.
Yes, starting with using AI for idea generation in their Ideo Mi Negocio program, the plan is to expand its use carefully, making it a helpful assistant.
Improving user profiling, too.
Right. Getting better at quickly understanding where each woman is in her journey, her knowledge gaps, so they can suggest the right courses, more personalization.
More content.
Definitely. Adding more specialized courses and business skills, but also self-care, confidence based on what users are asking for.
They're also tackling bigger issues.
Yes, developing modules on climate change resilience, especially for agro-entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurial reskilling in response to unemployment trends. Very forward-thinking.
And a new finance program.
Todas financieras,
Hmm.
covering everything from basic banking and saving up to more complex stuff like investments, even crypto, aiming for real financial empowerment.
And these academies with partners sound great.
Yeah, bringing in mentors from partner companies, TikTok, Microsoft, etc., to share specific advice on leadership, time management, digital tools, real-world expertise.
So the ultimate goal for 2025.
Basically, to guide each woman through her entire entrepreneurial journey on their platform, from start to sustainable success, supporting both the business and the person.
Okay, so wrapping this up, the core takeaway really is Emprende Pro Mujer's incredibly thorough, human-centered approach. Using digital tools, yes, but always focused on the women themselves.
Absolutely. You really feel the commitment, the passion behind it all. It's about genuinely helping women achieve prosperity in, well, all senses of the word.
It's truly inspiring stuff. And maybe a final thought for you listening. Just consider how powerful technology can be when it's combined with a real social mission and that deep focus on individual needs. It really can create transformative opportunities.
You have to wonder what other areas could benefit from this kind of holistic, adaptive model, right?
Definitely food for thought. If you want to learn more about Emprende Pro Mujer, you can reach out to Anna Romanelli, their global head of education. Her email is anna.romanelli@promeasure.org.